We are in the Insidious house in Comic-Con, and we have props from the movie, and we moved the set of Insidious to San Diego.
It's this kind of netherworld that lives on top of our world, so they've tried to recreate this for the fans. A lot of people throw parties at Comic-Con for press and everyone. We wanted to throw a fan party and have fans. I mean, this place is filled with props from the film. It's definitely a preview of the second film.
Bars, there's music, there's hundreds of fans that are coming tonight. We're going to be here with JasonBlum, the producer.
Sequels are always they're easier and harder. They're easier because there's more. The financier is taking less of a risk, but everyone, if you're getting back all the same people from the first movie, everyone knows that. So the deals are harder to make. So aspects of making sequels are easier, and other aspects are harder. James and Lee were always really clear, and they always said, we might do a sequel, we might not do a sequel. It kind of depends if we're inspired, if we can think of a good enough an idea. And there was a lot of pressure to do a sequel, but finally James and Lee were inspired, and and James had a little window in his directing schedule, and so we put the movie together, and it was tricky to get all the actors back too.
I heard voices in the hallway. Is there something wrong with Daddy, Mom?
I like to answer a lot of questions that have been posed in the first movie. So Insidious2 really kind of extends the first Insidious, and what we tried to do is answer a lot of the questions and expand on a lot of the mythology in the first movie. And the movie is kind of slightly bigger in scope, but it certainly feels, I was really glad that James came back to direct the movie and Lee wrote the movie, so it feels very much of a piece of the first movie, but an extension of it.
The second film kind of visits the first film.
We're still with the Lamberts, and Patrick and Rose's character, Josh and Renee. They're trying to solve what happened at the end of the first one.
With Specs and Tucker, it was interesting because we were trying to inject a little bit of a lighter tone into the film, and I remember the producer, JasonBlum, was like, okay, we've got to calibrate this very carefully. And then we had a test screening of the film, and audiences really loved those characters.
The wonderful thing about, I guess, Specs and Tucker, when you see them, there's some release because it's so utterly terrifying when you're with Patrick and Rose.
Our characters end up being the driving force of the investigation. There is a mystery at the heart of the film, and we're the ones investigating it. So I can honestly say that organically we ended up being in the film more.
We shot with a lot of the same crew and on a lot of the same locations and a few new locations, and so it felt very familiar. We had a great time on the first movie. These movies, they shoot relatively quickly, and the experience is very, very intense because the schedule is so tight. So you get to know people very well. So everyone was happy to see each other again. Really, there's a lot of character work and drama in these movies, which is very engaging, I hope. And so that makes the scares all the scarier as opposed to big firework-like effects. I actually learned a lot of that from James. He's one of the directors who really taught us that. And you will see a lot of effects that are real, not computerized. When you make a movie for 3 cents, which is about how much the first movie cost, to have first of all, to be able to make a second movie and to have the set of the movie brought to a whole nother city, and lots of fans come to see it is a great. I feel very lucky to have that happen, given the fact that when we were making the first movie, we didn't even know if it was going to get to a theater. So it's pretty cool.